Digital School. This is grade 5 Natural Sciences and Technology, and my name is Onkarabetse Setswe. Guys, we will be continuing with a term 1 revision from where we left off yesterday. Guys, just some quick ground rules, all right? You guys are not allowed to switch on your videos. Okay, please do not switch on your videos. If you do switch on your videos throughout the lesson, you might get kicked out. Okay, and you won't be allowed to attend class anymore. The only thing that you guys are allowed to do is raise your hand and then I will unmute your mic, all right? Or you can type in the group chat. And remember, the group chat is only for academic purposes, okay? So yes, after we're done with our greetings, we're only going to use the group chat to discuss what we are, or rather what we will be dealing with in the lesson. Okay, so I hope everyone is on par and is on board with that. So again, guys, do not switch on your videos. Okay, so let us get in with the lesson. So yesterday, guys, we looked at, or rather we covered the 4 types of habitats that we find. Can anyone tell me about the 4 types of habitats that we covered yesterday? The 4 types of habitats that we covered yesterday. Guys can either write it in the group chat or you can raise your hand. Oh, sorry guys, just quickly now, before we start with the lesson, sorry. As I had mentioned, that this week we'll be doing revision from term 1 and term 2, and then next week, Thursday, you guys are writing the Natural Sciences and Technology test, okay? Next week, Thursday, you guys are writing the Natural Sciences and Technology test, and it is based on term 1 as well as term 2's work. Tomorrow, you will get elaborated scope with mark allocations, okay? So I asked a question, the habitats that we dealt with yesterday, there were 4 types. I need you guys to give me the 4 types of habitats that we dealt with yesterday. Okay, Malik's hand is up. Malik?
Ma'am?
The 4 types of habitats that we dealt with yesterday.
Ma'am, I wasn't here yesterday.
Oh, you weren't here yesterday. Okay, so you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
check out the lesson on YouTube next.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, awesome. Okay, let's say D. Let's hear from you.
Ma'am, desert, forest,
Okay.
aquatic, and grassland.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so we looked at plants and animals on Earth, and those aquatic, grassland, forest, as well as deserts are one of the habitats that we looked at, and we stopped at interdependence in an ecosystem. So remember, we defined an ecosystem saying that it is a community of living things that depend on and interact with each other and the non-living things such as water, air, and soil in their different habitats. So we looked at interdependence in an ecosystem, and I'm just going to go through this again because some of you guys said that you do not understand this or you haven't done it. Okay. So the all living and non-living things depend on each other, all right? The interdependence in an ecosystem is either between living things, and this is how animals and plants are interdependent. And we said that they depend on each other for certain things, okay? Then we have interdependence in an ecosystem between living as well as non-living things, all right? So the first interdependence between living things is interdependence and feeding, right? And we also had examples of herbivores of how they eat plants. Okay, so these are animals eating plants, and other animals eat other animals, and then other animals eat plants as well as animals. And we also gave examples of our omnivores, carnivores, as well as herbivores. All right, and here we have an example of a herbivore. Okay, and then the second type of interdependence that we find between living things is interdependence and pollination. All right, Sakura, I see your hand. I'm just gonna cover interdependence and pollination, then I will get to you. All right, then I asked you guys for an example, and I think I didn't get an example from you guys. So I said that plants depend on animals for pollination. All right, and then animals that pollinate flowers are called pollinators. Okay, so plants use different methods to attract pollinators. Some plants smell good, some have nectar, others have a beautiful color in order to attract the pollinators. And here we have an example of a flower as well as the bees. Okay, Sakura?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and welcome back to class. It's been a while.
Ma'am, I was actually not here on Friday and on Monday, ma'am. Monday we had load shedding, and on Friday, ma'am, I had to go to my school, ma'am, to
Okay.
get my books.
All right, no problem, no problem. Welcome back, Nick.
Okay, ma'am, but I wanted to tell you that I didn't understand what you were doing, ma'am. That's why I
Oh,
raised my hand.
oh, okay. So, as I mentioned on Friday, but you were not here, right? So we are doing revision, right? So we're doing revision for term 1 as well as term 2, but today we are focusing on term 1. And we on the topic that is called plants and animals on earth, okay? So if you can just check on your textbook, it's plants and animals on earth. And the subtopic is interdependence in an ecosystem. The subtopic is interdependence in an ecosystem. So that is what we are dealing with now. So these are things that you guys most probably covered in class at school. Okay. All right. So guys, remember, if I am going too fast or you need time to write the things that you see on your screen, then just indicate for me. No? All right. Okay, so the third type of interdependence is interdependence and seed dispersal. Right, so remember we covered interdependence and feeding, interdependence and pollination, and the third type is interdependence and seed dispersal. So plants need to have their seeds spread over a wide area. And then if all the seeds fall in one spot, the plants that grow, they will not have enough water, soil, or sunlight to grow properly. Okay, so that is why the seeds need to be dispersed across different areas. So can you guys think of methods in which seeds can be dispersed? And tell me about it. How can seeds be dispersed or spread over a wide area? Examples of how seeds can be dispersed. So you can use the group chat or you can raise your hand. How can seeds be dispersed? Okay, Tafika, see your hand. Tafika? Hi, Tafika. Okay, so Tafika, just please check your sound because I am not getting any sound from you. All right. So anyone else who can tell me how seeds can be dispersed over a wide area? How can seeds be dispersed over a wide area? All right, Lesedi?
Ma'am,
Yeah, boo.
the seeds can be blown away by the wind and go around the air. Then they
All
can
right.
grow.
Beautiful. So the wind can disperse the seeds. And do you have anything else?
No, ma'am, just that.
Just that. Thank you very much, Nick.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I see Leletu's hand is up. Let's hear Leletu. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the cows can get in your house and then in the garden, and then they can eat the plants because cows are herbivores.
All right, Leletu, your sound is a bit scratchy, but I heard you mention something about the cow and the seeds getting into their mouths, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you said? Okay, so Leletu-ish, your sound is giving us a problem there. I couldn't hear you properly. Let's hear what Sakura has to say.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, usually
Yebo?
animals, ma'am, usually animals get in on their hair or on their fur, and then
Mm-hmm.
when they walk around, then they can fall off of them and drop into the ground, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much. So we have another example where seeds can stick to the animal's fur, all right, and the animals will disperse the seeds. Okay, beautiful, guys. So those are examples of interdependence and seed dispersal. All right. Okay, so then we have interdependence between living as well as non-living things. Okay, so living things are also dependent on non-living things in the ecosystem. Right, and can you guys give me an example of some of the non-living things in an ecosystem that living things depend on? Some of the non-living things in the ecosystem that living things depend on. Some of the living things, or the non-living things rather, sorry, yes, Sakura.
Ma'am, I had another example for the last question.
Oh, okay.
Some people usually buy seeds at the shops
Mm-hmm.
after other people gather them and go into the shops, and we
Okay.
buy them at the stores and we can grow them at home.
All right, beautiful. So can you also give me an answer to this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Some of the non-living things in an ecosystem which living things depend on. Can I get an example of some of the non-living things in an ecosystem that living things depend on? Right, so guys, as you are thinking, I will continue. As you guys think of examples, I will continue. Hopefully we don't have any examples that come through. All right, okay, it is example. So Sakura says H2O. H2O is water, all right? So one of the non-living things that living things depend on is air because it has oxygen as well as carbon dioxide, all right? Then water, just as Sakura mentioned, living things need or depend on water in order to remain alive. Okay, Lesedi says soil, all right? So, and that is correct. Soil, living things also depend on soil, right? Example, plants need their nutrients from the soil. And Peu says the sun, and that is also correct, Peu. And we also need food, okay, which comes in different forms as well. And we also need shelter and a place to safely hang their young, all right? And also a place to hide from danger. Okay, so in this picture, guys, it is basically summarizing interdependence in an ecosystem. Okay, so at this first block here, as you guys can see on the right, we say that plants absorb carbon dioxide. Remember, carbon dioxide is non-living. And then here, plants use light and energy to make fruit. Okay, animals can use the plants for shelter. All right, there we see a bird hiding in the tree, and then plants release oxygen into the air. Then here by the back, we see that the plants need animals, or rather plants and animals, sorry, they need water to live. Then animals eat the food from the plants, and we have plants need the soil to grow in, and then when animals die, they release nutrients in the soil. And then the last one here on the right, by the two bugs there, is that animals breathe in air. So guys, this is just a summary that is showing us interdependence in an ecosystem. Okay, so I hope everyone is following. Okay, so if you do have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can post them in the group chat. Okay, so we're moving right along to animal types. So animals can be classified in two main groups. What are those groups? What are those two main groups in which we can classify animals in? You can raise your hand or put your answer in the group chat. Okay, I see Lele too, your hand is up. Right, Lele too.
Ma'am, it's mammals and reptiles, ma'am.
Animals and reptiles.
Mammals, ma'am, and reptiles.
Oh, mammals and reptiles. All right. Thank you very much, Lele too. So Lele too says animals can be classified between mammals and reptiles. Sakura also wrote in the group saying that it is mammals and non-mammals. Okay. Do we have someone with a different answer, maybe? Tafika says mammals and amphibians. All right. Okay, let's hear what Talia has to say.
Ma'am, they
Talia?
can be called vertebrates and invertebrates.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Talia, for that answer. So, guys, the two main groups in which animals can be classified in is vertebrates and invertebrates. Okay, so the vertebrates, these are animals with a backbone. Okay, and then the invertebrates are animals which do not have a backbone. Okay, so don't confuse the two main groups with your mammals and your reptiles, because reptiles and mammals, you can find them in the vertebrate group. Okay, so I hope everyone is just on par with that. So remember, your mammals and your reptiles, you can also say that the difference between the two is warm-blooded as well as cold-blooded. Okay, so but the two main groups is vertebrates as well as invertebrates. Right. So here we have an example of invertebrates. These are animals that do not develop a backbone. They also do not have an endoskeleton. So this is a bony skeleton inside their bodies. They do not have it. They develop a different type of skeletons like hydroskeletons as well as exoskeletons. And we have examples here on the right, like the earthworm, scorpion, spider, crab, starfish, millipede, sorry, as well as the snail. Then we also have a locust, which is shown there. Okay, so vertebrates. Can you guys tell me more about vertebrates? Can you guys tell me more about vertebrates and also give me an example of a vertebrate? Okay, Koto says, okay, sorry. Is this something that you need to write, Koto, on the previous slide? Does someone need me to go back? Okay, so I'll just give you a minute. And so I will take Miletu and Karina's answer in about a minute, all right, or 30 seconds. Let us just wait for those who are writing to finish writing, okay? Remember, if I am going too fast or there is a section that you need me to go back on, just indicate for me, yeah, or tell me in the group chat. Okay, also just also indicate for us if we can move, yeah? Indicate for us if we can move. Okay, so let's hear what Karina has to say about vertebrates.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I am well, thank you.
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
a vertebrate is like an animal that has a backbone. Say, like a human or like an animal, like not an insect, an animal like
What
horse.
type of animal?
A horse, a
Okay.
doggy, like my puppy. And we also have an invertebrate. An invertebrate is an animal without a backbone, like for example a worm, or like mostly worms and earthworms and like
It's usually insects that are
yeah,
invertebrates.
usually insects. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Karina.
Thank you.
Okay. Neo, no problem. You can just join in. No? You can just join in, Neo, no problem, and welcome. Okay, so in the group, I see Tafika says an example of a vertebrate is a human. Thank you, Koto. An example of a vertebrate is a human. Ndando says vertebrates have bones, and a backbone. An example is a dog. Thank you very much for that answer. Okay. So vertebrates, guys, these are animals that have a skeleton inside their bodies, and this is what we call an endoskeleton. All right, so this skeleton, we refer to it as an endoskeleton, and part of their skeleton is a backbone. All right, so vertebrates are broken down into smaller groups. We have fish, we have amphibians, we have reptiles, and we have birds, and we also have mammals. So you see where the reptiles and mammals also fall in there, guys? Your mammals and reptiles fall under vertebrates. Okay, so here we have example of the vertebrates. We have our fish there, the frog, the lizard, the bird, as well as the gorilla. Okay, so that brings us to the closing of the topic, and here are the key concepts. So what we covered in this topic is that there are many different plants and animals, and they live in different habitats on Earth. Okay, and then all the plants and animals and their habitats make up the total biodiversity of the Earth. And South Africa has a very rich variety of indigenous plants as well as animals in their habitats. All right, so we have wrapped up the topic of plants and animals on Earth. Okay, so I see 2 hands. I'm not sure if we have questions or I just didn't lower your hand. So guys, if you have answered or had answered, you can lower your hand. Ne? So let me hear what Karina has to say. Karina, do you have a question?
No, ma'am, I don't have anything.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right. So let us move on to the next topic, which is animal skeletons. Right. So everyone, let's move on to the next. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Khotso, just indicate to me when you're done. Ne? All right, Talia says we are vertebrates. Neo says exoskeletons are animals that have a shell-like skeleton. Okay, so some animals have exoskeletons, which are shell-like. And then an example Noah gave are crabs. Okay, also you are done. All right, perfect. Are you also done with this one, or can I move? Are you also done with this one, or can I move? Just use yes or no. All right. Okay, Malik, I see you have pressed the no icon or button. What's up? What is going on? Okay, I'll assume that it was a mistake. All right, cool. Moving on to the next topic, which is animal skeletons. Next topic is animal skeletons. All right. And I hope everyone has their notes with them or their summaries. So skeletons of vertebrates. What did we say about a skeleton of a vertebrate? What did we just say about a skeleton of a vertebrate? Okay, now.
Ma'am, I actually wanted to ask a question.
All right, cool. Go for it.
Ma'am, there are three types of skeletons. It's an endoskeleton, exoskeleton, and the last one I forgot what it is.
Hydroskeleton.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. All right. Okay, ma'am, I have trouble zooming out. Just double click on your screen again. Just double click on your screen, then it should zoom out. Right. So guys, skeletons of vertebrates are hard and form very strong frame structures to support as well as to protect the animal's body. Okay. And then here we have examples of bones that we find in vertebrates. They have long bones, they have short bones, they have what we call irregular bones, and they also have a flat bone. So I see Karina, your hand is up as well as Sakura. Let me just see what's up. Karina?
No, ma'am, I'm saying it's not working for me. Since I'm using an iPad, I pressed 2 times and it didn't work.
Okay, just I don't know how to explain this, but like just hold your screen, right, with 2 fingers and move your fingers together, closer together on the screen, and it
I'm
should...
trying that, ma'am. It's still not working. Okay. Ma'am, I have to go eat some lunch. Can I come back?
All right, no problem.
Thanks, ma'am.
Okay, Sakura, your hand is up. Sorry, there we go.
Ma'am?
Yebo.
Ma'am?
Yes.
I wanted to tell you, ma'am, me and my sister, ma'am, we were not here on Monday, ma'am, so we don't know what she was talking about, ma'am.
Okay, we're doing revision, eh? This is a
Okay,
revision of term 1's work. And just as mentioned that we have moved on to, here's our topic, animal skeletons. Okay, so that is the topic in term 1.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, as we have mentioned, that these are the different kinds of bones that we find in vertebrates. Okay. So here we have an example of a vertebrate, which is a human being, as you can see. So human being has a skull, we have a shoulder bone, we have a rib cage, an upper arm, lower arm, we have hip bones and a spine, all right? That is located at the back. And then we also have hands, fingers, an upper leg, lower leg, foot, as well as toe. And here is just the full picture, right, of the skull, shoulder bone, rib cage, upper arm, lower arm, hand, finger, upper leg, lower leg, and foot, as well as the toes. So humans are examples of vertebrates and have bones as well as joints. Okay. Right, so here we have a cat skeleton where we can also see some of the bones that we mentioned in humans present in the cat. Here is the skull, here is the spine or the backbone. Here we have the rib cage, we have the lower limbs, the toes, and it also has a tail. All right. Then let's see. Then we also have another example of a skeleton. Here we have the fish skeleton, and it looks something like that. So Lilith is asking, is that a cat? Yes, that is a cat, Lilith. That is a cat. And I see we have a lot of activity going in on the group. Neo says that hydroskeleton animals are animals that have skeleton designed for water. A hydrostatic skeleton is a skeleton formed by a fluid-filled compartment within the body called the cloam. The organs of the cloam are supported by the aqueous fluid, which resists external compression. Yes, no, and that is correct. That is what a hydroskeleton is. Okay, guys, remember, no videos, no videos. Right, so Noah was just sharing some beautiful information with us. Okay. Okay, Sakura is asking what is a hydroskeleton. So remember we spoke about two types of skeletons that we find now. We said that in vertebrates, the vertebrates have endoskeletons. So this means that they have a backbone as well as bones inside their bodies. And exoskeleton, these animals do not have a backbone, right? So they have a different type of structure which keeps their body. And a hydroskeleton is basically a flexible skeleton that is supported by fluid pressure. Okay. So as Neo has shared in the group, you can read Neo's definition there, and that is a hydroskeleton. And hydroskeleton is usually found in invertebrates. Okay. All right, so here we have, let's just continue with the skeletons, guys. All right, so let's go to the functions of the bones in vertebrate skeleton. First one, the skull. What is the function of the skull? What is the function of the skull? So remember, you guys had to do summaries as well as notes on this, and these are things that you guys should know. And let's hear. What is the function of the skull? Right, Shengi?
To protect the brain.
To protect the brain. Beautiful. Thank you very much. So Shengi says the function of the skull is to protect the brain, and that is correct. Nesedi, just make sure that your mic is mute. I will unmute you for the second question. So the skull protects the brain and supports the eyes, ears, as well as the nose. And then what is the function of the backbone, Nesedi? Nesedi? The function of the backbone. Yebo?
To help the body stand up straight.
All right, so the function of the backbone is to support the upper body. Right, beautiful. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so it protects the spinal cord that runs inside it and supports the upper body. And another function, these are the functions of the backbone. As you guys can see here, this is an indication or rather a picture illustrating the backbone. Okay, and this is the side view. Right, Lily 2, I see your hand. You can give me the function of the ribs. Lily 2, what is the function of the ribs?
Oh, ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
The function of the ribs, they protect the hip, ma'am, the hip bone from falling apart, like the body when you walk. They protect them from falling apart.
They protect what? Come again, sorry.
The hip, they protect the hip bone, ma'am.
The hip bone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So Lily, tell me here now, where do you know that inside our ribs we have lungs? Did you know that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So if we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
lungs, if we have lungs inside the ribs, that means that the ribs are protecting the lungs. Correct or wrong?
Correct, ma'am. Oh, I missed that one, ma'am.
Sorry?
Yeah, correct, ma'am. I missed that one. I missed that one. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. No problem. So that is another function of the ribs. It protects organs which are found inside it. Okay. Right. So thank you very much, Lily, too, for the answer. Okay. So the rib cage is around the chest area of the animal to protect lungs, heart, and other important organs. Okay. And here we have an example of the rib cage of a snake which runs throughout the whole body. It says a snake's rib cage protects and supports almost the whole body. Okay, and here we have a rib cage of a human being, which obviously would protect the lungs, the heart, and other important organs. Okay. All right, guys, remember what I said about the group chat? Remember what I said about the group chat. Okay. And here we also have an example of a rib cage of an elephant. Okay, so this is a skeleton of an elephant, and this is the rib cage of the elephant. All right. Let us move on to the next bones. So here we have shoulder blades, arms, legs, as well as hip bones. So vertebrates use their fore and hind limbs for movement. And this is also where we get the shoulder blades, arms, legs, as well as hip bones. And muscles attach to the shoulder blades and they control the movement of the forelimb. Guys, your videos should be off, please. Thank you. Then the lower and back limbs or legs, they attach to the body at the hips. All right. So here we have examples of limbs in different animals. So limbs of a frog look something like this. And then of a lizard, the limbs of a lizard look something like that. And these are limbs of a bird. And here we have limbs of a human being. And the upper limb here in the hand is called the humerus, and the lower limb is called the radius and the ulna. Remember, you guys do not need to know this. And then here we have the limb of a cat, whale, and bat. Okay. Okay, so movement in vertebrates. So they have joints between their bones that can let their bones move. Then their muscles are attached to their skeletons. Then vertebrates also have joints, which are places where the bones come together and they can move, or rather come together in a special way, sorry, to allow the animal or the human to move, like at the elbow or the wrist. Okay. So here we have an example where we can see a joint, and this is the knee, where we can see the knee joint, and we have a ligament here which holds the two bones together, and this is the thigh bone, and this is the lower limb bone, and a ligament holds the two bones together. All right. Then here we also have another example of a joint. This is the elbow joint, which is indicated on the diagram on the right. And we have our tricep and bicep. Those are our muscles, okay? And the ulna and the radius, those refer to the bones that are found in the lower limb of the arm, okay? Key concepts for this topic. A vertebrate skeleton is found inside the body, all right? And it has bones and joints. Bones are strong and form a strong frame structure. A skeleton protects, excuse me, parts of the body. Then a skeleton also supports the body. Vertebrate animals can move because they have muscles attached to the skeleton. All right. So guys, do you know the mineral or the vitamin that keeps or makes our bones strong? Do you know the mineral or vitamin that keeps our bones strong? And as I move, as you guys think about that question. Okay, so we only have 3 minutes remaining. So we're supposed to look at skeletons as structures. Let me just hear Lily and Sakura. They think they have an answer for me. Yes, Lily.
Ma'am.
Sakura,
Hi,
yes.
ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes, I
sorry.
can hear
My
you.
uncle is doing a bit of construction at the back, ma'am. I'm
All right,
sorry.
cool. I can hear you.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to say, ma'am, I only know of what makes your bones a bit strong in your teeth, ma'am. My
What is it?
parents always tell me to drink milk, ma'am. They said it
All
helps
right.
your bones grow strong, ma'am.
Okay, that's beautiful. So you are told to drink milk because it makes your bones strong. And this vitamin or mineral which is found in milk is called calcium. All right. So you are told to drink milk because it makes your bones strong. And that is because milk has calcium. All right. So guys, we were supposed to just move on to skeletons as structures. But since we only have 2 minutes, I think this is where I will stop the lesson and we will continue tomorrow with it. Okay. All right. So guys, for tomorrow, I will need you guys to revise food chains as well as life cycles. For tomorrow, prepare your summaries and notes on food chains and life cycles, and we are quickly going to go through them, as well as skeletons as structures, since we couldn't cover it in today's lesson, right? And thank you very much, guys, for joining in. If you do have any questions, remember you can email the school at stemdigitalschool@africa10gigs.co.za, or you can send me an email and it is appearing on your screen. So guys, thank you very much. See you tomorrow and have a beautiful day further. Okay, I see questions. Let me just quickly get the questions. So your hand was up, I'm not sure. Are you okay now? Karina and, okay, hello, Karina and Roxy. Hi.
Hello, ma'am. This is my sister Roxy.
Okay.
Roxy, say hello. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm well, thanks.
I'm very excited to join my class with my sister.
All right, so are you also in grade 5?
Yes.
All right, cool. Welcome to class then. All right. So remember to also prepare for tomorrow, yeah?
What's tomorrow? Well, I only joined now with my sister.
I'm saying prepare topics, food chains and life cycles. I need you to revise that and make summaries as well as your notes.